Hello, this is Pooley with another look at an aircraft. This is the Foresight or Foresight. It's a 3D 800 millimeter foamy, I guess to brother or sister, the Erratic. We all know and love the Erratic. I have had one. Actually, the odd part about that is I just delivered it today to a buddy of ours at the field. James, he just got my Erratic today, so it's crazy. I dropped that off and I picked this one up. When I got in the shop, this one was kind of banged up. He said he opened it up to take a look at and make sure everything was right. I don't see anything through the huge gaping hole that was torn in during shipping that's visible. That might be an issue, but let's go ahead and get it unboxed. And this is kind of the norm. You know, you don't always get everything in perfect condition when you know stuff is getting shipped, stuff can happen. So like shops really take a hit for this kind of stuff because people tend to not want to buy stuff when it's banged up. But that tear was forced due to this piece of foam here being this straight angle. That's where the rip was. So you could see there's no activities right there for the bird. So it was all saved in the superior packaging of Spectrum. So I'm going to go ahead and get the book off of here. As a matter of fact, I won't waste your time. I'm going to just sprawl this out on the table. I don't need to show you the full unpack. Yeah, there's quite a bit of packaging here. So as I'm cutting through it, I was going to peel tape back because I want to repackage this aircraft perhaps. And resell, or maybe like people really don't want to assemble aircraft, so it might be more interesting to somebody when they're looking to buy one that is already put together, especially if it's already used. Like having to assemble it is just an aggravation mostly. And I really like, look how nice that is. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this too. Yeah. These pieces are all completely designed specifically for this aircraft. Like the R&D that goes into this has to be huge. You can see that damage from the probably a smash down and then eventually made a nice break. But look, this is not touched. This piece is not touched. So, good job. And I know throughout the time I've been doing reviews, I'm gonna just show you each little piece so you can kind of get a little look, feel. Throughout the time I've been doing reviews, I feel like I'm a fanboy, and like I don't really want to be, but I feel like I'm a fanboy for Spectrum and Horizon Hobby. They are not sponsoring me. This is in no way. Other than my local shop, which, of course he is a Spectrum distributor, but that has nothing, that's him, not them. And I supported him and everything for the last, however many long since he's been open, I've always supported him. So now, he is kind of returning the favor to me. And I guess this is like my first true sponsorship, I would call it. Proudly enough, because he takes care of me. I'm not getting anything free, so don't think I'm like these other guys that you watch on all the videos and they're getting birds sent to their houses before everything comes out. Nope. Notice that this is coming out way after all of them already shot their guns. They're basically done. I'm getting old handouts at this point, but I can only get it when the normal time you would get it, ordered it from Horizon, or when the local shop had enough time to get it shipped into him. So, there are all your pieces. So, my idea on this all is, I can't ever keep up with the big boys, right? Because I never get anything free, blah, blah, blah. But, with the help from Tommy, I can probably try to sell some of these birds after the fact, and then that will give me the leeway to move on to something else. So, that's my idea. That's where I'm at with it. And here we go. So all your parts sprawled out. As usual, give you a look at what you get in the box. And we're going to go into the manual. This looks like 100% erratics. If you're, you know, any thought in your mind, like the fit, finish, and feel, all of this stuff, the plastic ends everywhere. It's got some little cool snap-in look pieces there. We'll figure that out. Let me go ahead and get to the book. So the little Ziploc bag comes with a prop. It is a 9x46. This is going to be branded E-Flight, not APC or anything. And a small Ziploc. The small Ziploc has an O-ring, a clevis, and 2 screws. So step 1 in the book, as I pour the screws out of the bag, is of course going to be the elevator, right? So looks like you put the elevator in, you hit it with the 2 screws, the only 2 that come in the pack, from the top. Let's take a look at this. Let's look at this uniqueness of this tail. All of these little strengtheners everywhere, little carbon fiber rods, very snazzy. I don't know if it's coming through, but there's like a water stainage. Let's see if I can get this for you. I cannot. There is a print on every surface of the bird that looks like turtle shell. I don't know if that would make sense to try to explain, but it's visible in person. All of this, even the black areas. But anyway, I can't show it to you because I'm going to forget about it. But like the whole thing. Oh, you see it. You see it. You see it? It shows up better on the black. You see that when I hold at the right angle? So that there's this little look to every surface of this bird. I don't know if that was on purpose. It's actually pretty cool. It doesn't feel like it's on purpose, but anyway, it's there. So anywho, moving along, I'm going to slide this through the hole. Kind of work it in. You see the 2 screw holes. So I'm going to kind of get this where it gets there. And there's a slot and you got to slide this peg through that slot. And then wait until you get alignment of your screws, which I have. And then you hit your screws in. Alright, so I got that lined up. And I'm going to just go ahead and work the screws in if I can get the camera to point at what I'm doing. And it's probably not necessary to show it, so... I think this is worth stopping for a second to cover. These little push buttony thingies have little extent right there where it'll lock in. So you're not having to screw anything in. You just align all 3 of those little areas and push it up. I didn't get a positive lock on that, so I'm gonna have to keep fiddling with it until I can feel the pieces lock in. One lock. So I'm going to slow this down a second for this part because it's crazy. All of these little snap-in thingies, and they work so well. You see them snapping in? Oh my goodness, this is so cool. I would say definitely cooler than the erratic because they The erratic didn't have this yet. Like, this is new technology for this. This is pretty cool. So I got the elevator, I got the ailerons. Now I suspect I'm gonna have to do the rudder. Yeah, the rudder's already on. I put that on. It was already factory done, actually, for the rudder. And I got a bunch of linkage left. That's going to be to connect the top wing to the bottom wing. Probably these shorter ones. I see some struts here and here. So it's going to be like support struts. Okay, I see some supports right there and there. So it's going to be those longer ones. This is going to be to connect from the top to the bottom. And it looks like the connection goes with the adjustable clevis to the bottom. So I got all those X's put in. You know, you got to kind of take your time. You could tighten them more. Like, if you're looking at this and say, man, it's an awful lot of flex. I just got these measured out to where when the plane was on a flat surface with no warping at all of the frame of the plane, that these things just went into the hole. So that means they're kind of pulling tension against each other from side to side to keep this centerpiece kind of motionless as possible, but it's still gonna flex, I would imagine. So now I'm putting the gear in. It's the same as the erratics, where it's like a crisscross. It might be the identical same piece that came with the erratic, and then you kind of get it into a certain point, and then it clips into these little pieces right here. If I can show you. Yep, so that's the piece slides in there and it locks in from that. And then there's a little relief that you can't see, but there it is. Little relief on the gear itself. So of course, get your landing gear where it's gonna roll on the ground. Let me get back out. All right, get your landing gear where it's gonna roll correctly. Shove it in where it goes. And I didn't even try yet, but I remember on the erratic, this portion of the install was kind of hard, and of course this time it went in a second. But on the erratic, I had to fight that thing in there. So let's see if this side will go in easy too. All right, I already got it almost to the hole. Find a place. There's no way to grab this plane comfortably because it's all kinds of little nooks. Yep, that went in easy too. So what I was trying to illustrate on the other side is, if you want to take the gear out, let's say you think you're going to break the gear, because trust me, that's the thing that breaks. And when you break the gear, you tear out this whole center section of the bird, so it's not really cool. And then you also mess up this top block and everything. So it's probably best to, if you're going to rough house, you know, you're that kind of guy, maybe take the gear off in case you have a problem. Then you can not go through the heartache of all this piece busting out. But anyway, all you got to do is you take your finger and push it behind that piece, and then you can push down. See how it came right out? I don't know if that's coming through because I really can't even see the video myself. There we go. So if I push it in, this piece locks into the back of the fiber. And then if I push it out with my thumb, and get some light in here, push it out with my thumb from the back, then I can slide it right past that. But otherwise, it's locked in. So these come out fairly easy at the field. No big worries there. That concludes everything. All the surfaces are off. You know, like I've covered in many videos, I don't lock down any of the clevises because I'm waiting until I power it up to not have to take everything apart. So let's get to that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead to the portion where you're gonna add a model. So I'm gonna go here. If I click it the way I did, I'm not where I want to be, so I made a mistake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap it. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Now I get these 3 dots on the left side. I didn't have those before. Hit those 3 dots. I'm going to hit add new. I hit something totally different, which is sort, because it's so hard to film and look at this at the same time. So I'm gonna hit it again, add new model at the top. I'm gonna go to default. Now you could go to bind and fly, it might be there, but this brand new bird, it won't be. So I'm gonna just hit airplane, because they eliminated the need for the bind and fly list by this new cool technology. So let's go ahead and embrace the technology. So now that I created that model, I could back out and then it's gonna be there. I could do some other stuff, but why would I? Because I'm ultimately gonna plug in and it's gonna have these new files already loaded. So I'm gonna get to the bird and put a battery in. I don't even need to show you that. Basically, there's some Velcro there. I'm gonna get the Velcro loop out of the way and then get a battery put in just for the purposes. I'm not gonna fly, of course, just for the purposes of getting this thing set up. And I have to use a battery adapter because I definitely get rid of those E-Flight smaller IC whatever they are. All right, so now the bird is on. I can go ahead and hit this bind button on the bird, which I don't need to show you that. You can stay on the radio for this. All right, get that, hold it down. It's in bind mode. So I can come here. This is what makes one of the great things about IX radio. I can hit bind, it's always on the front screen. I can hit that and hold this down. And now I'm in binding. I had my throttle stick slightly up, so then it started waking out, but then it seemed like it took it as soon as I lowered it. All right, RX version, do you want to install? Yes, load, confirm. The motor ran for a bit, not sure what that's about, hadn't had that happen before, but now here we are. It's got a little picture of the bird, kind of like it did, almost identical to the one for the, what was that bird? The S5E. Everything zeroed out, and of course, no timers. So I don't know about the timer thing. I'm going to go ahead and enable it. Just because I like it, you know. One time start and stop after it starts. Yeah, I'm going to leave it kind of like that. It's going to be at 5 minutes. That's good enough. You know, we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to probably go ahead and go here, get rid of that picture, take picture. And of course, I always redo this at the field. So I'm going to just take one right fast. Boom. Put this back for you guys to see. All right, I'm going to hit that check button. So now I got a picture. Boom, boom, boom. That picture shows up on my radio. I know what I'm dealing with. So I'm going to get and hit right elevator. You don't need to see the radio for this part. So there we go. I'm going to hit right. Right works. Of course, left isn't working because it came loose. Up and left and right are working. Everything's in the correct order, which you expect because the file that we loaded was to give us that loveliness. All right, so now I should have my other ear on. Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna look at my surfaces. Right now, I don't feel any kind of movement of the bird. So let's see where safe is. Alrighty, I'm probably gonna have to enable safe. Let's see what the radio says. It's got that little stick movement. Let's go ahead and get it. Receiver, binding button to enable safe. Plug it in, press the button, release the button. Oh, it's saying to let it flash and hold down the button the whole time while it's flashing. I prefer to do that with a bind plug because it's just a hard maneuver to do. Let's see if there's any room. Yeah, you could easily get to it with a bind plug. So let's bind again just for the simple purposes of that. I'm going to put this on pause for a second. Before I could even get there, basically, safe stick assignment. Let's see if I can do that and if it will enable safe. So I'm going to put both sticks to the inside. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, it's not gonna work because I don't have safe enable. So you know that that's not gonna happen. Let me grab a bind plug. Hey, I don't feel like dealing with the whole bind plug thing because it's an aggravation. So I'm gonna just do it the other way. All right, you can do it this way if you like, or if you want to do it the other way, that's fine with you. For programming, I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go to gyro settings. I'm gonna go to safe select. So right now, mode 2. I don't know where it is. So I'm gonna hit right here. It says safe select off. I'm gonna hit that on. Safe select channel. I'm gonna select the one I want. I'm gonna hit OK. All right. So then I'm gonna back out of that. And then I can back out again. Back out again. You heard a beep, so it's kind of setting up, I guess. All right, so it's jumping on the channel that I selected. So I did get my channel selection done correctly, so no worries there. So now I just have to see what's going on with the radio. All right, I'm looking at it. And it's definitely correct in there. And I'm shaking it now. It's not correct in here. So safe is in the correct method that I like it to be in. So having said that, get this right. I'm gonna put it off safe. Had to check throttle cut right fast. I'm gonna get it. I don't need to be showing you the radio at this point at all, so you can see the whole picture. So what I was saying is down here, let me reconnect this linkage, which I'm trying to deal with not hooking up until I get it fully adjusted, but I want you to see the movements. So I'm gonna feed this in one more time. Hopefully it doesn't come apart again. So give you a little height there. There we go. So, all right, the aircraft is doing what it's supposed to do, right? So if I go this way, I get to a certain point, safe is gonna stop it. I'm gonna go back. Didn't like that. All right, I'll give you a lot of bank angle on this one, and I didn't even adjust the angle limits or anything. So anyway, that's that on this part of it. I'm going to now go off safe, and okay, both of them popped off because of the incredible amount of movement. So now I'm gonna temporarily get them put back on for the aileron so I can just get this set up where I can lock it in and not have to keep dealing with this part. So I see that AS3X is still on, so I think I'm gonna go back into forward programming, and I don't want AS3X to be in position 2, so I'm gonna go back here. Forward programming. Stuff that doesn't need to be on the video. So alright, so I got that. So I'm in safe mode right now. If I go to the middle section, you still hear the sound. I'm gonna go to the third button, silence. That means AS3X or nothing is gonna be throwing off my numbers. And if you look at the first thing I look at, this aileron surface is wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it adjusted. It needs to come some screws out to get right. I'm gonna just do this in faster speed so you can kind of see and fast forward through it for you. Alright, that took forever, but I'm going to speed it up so you don't have a forever video on just me getting that right, but that's my process. So if you want to kind of see it, I gave it to you the way it is. The last final touch would be this O-ring on this prop, which is never easy to get on, but it's gotta be done. These E-Flight ones are easier than most. Yeah, you can put it on by hand, so not a big deal with theirs, whereas some of the stuff that you just kind of retrofit in might be too tight. That's it. Yeah, this piece right here, don't try and pick it up by this middle piece because it's just a little light piece of nothing. You'll break that right out of there. So I guess maybe grab it in other places. This looks cool. I guess we'll see what it looks like in the air. Maybe a flight, hopefully not a crash. I don't know if I want to take the wheels off because I want to just try to resell it. But maybe not. I'll probably go ahead and run it through the paces like it is and just try to take it easy on it. Just get a good flight for you guys up close as I can. Maybe try to hover, things like that. And then, of course, pass it on to one of the relative pros at the field and let them see about a hover. You know, I try to hover it myself, but I can hover the twisted stuff way better than my my erratic. You know, I started getting good with the erratic, but when I kind of got away from it because I was so much into the twisted, it's just easier to do. That's all I really want to say about this bird. I'm gonna say I like it. It's cool. Would I buy it? Wait a minute, I did. I'm planning on reselling it, but I did buy it. But hopefully somebody's interested in it. So I can keep going. Maybe I want to get that yellow 3D bird. I think I can't remember the name of it, but the newer one that's kind of set up like a 300, but you know, it's kind of a 3D bird, but it's not foam like this. It's a regular, not this thin 3D foam profile. It's not a profile plane. It's a regular little round fuselage plane. So anywho, with that long tangent, I want to try to get that thing next. So anyway, that's pending off of me selling this one. So regardless of how much I like it, I gotta pass it on. But I did like the erratic for a minute, so I'd have to say I'm gonna like this. It's almost this little lattice kind of design. It's the same as the erratic. Everything it's pouring everything erratics. Minus the new kind of latching systems that they have for the wings and such. That's all new and very cool. But that's all I really want to say about it. I think it's cool. I think at the price, it's kind of, you know, a lot of people are gonna say, why would you buy this when you can get the one for Twisted and you know it's better, blah blah blah. I'm not any kind of fanboy, which you might believe I am, of E-Flight when it comes to the realism of it. I think I own one of the 55 Yaks from Twisted, and I fly it all the time. I just flew it yesterday in crazy wind. It's a small plane in crazy wind. I was out there hovering and everything. Whereas with my erratic, I'm always got to keep my finger close, ready for the safe button, because it just seems like it doesn't recover. I don't have any safe on the other one. But with the erratic, since it has it, I go ahead and use it. But then, you know, I'm finding myself reaching for that safe a lot of the time because it flies too heavy. And I feel like this is the same, and it feels like it's got a lot of stuff and a lot of reinforcement. I was just looking at it on the other side. Like, there's a reinforcement kind of rod here. And then there's one under here. There's one for the tail skid. You got a rod across here, which obviously you need. One across the top of here. So you got a lot of rods of reinforcement, so you know, rods around here. I think the erratic has just like a plastic cone. I don't know if this is the same. It could be. Yeah, it's just a plastic motor mount there. I thought it was the same rods that they have elsewhere on the bird, just kind of glued in. But anyway, unimportant. What is important is we're gonna get out to the field. We're gonna fly it, see what it looks like, see what it feels like, and kind of go from there. So as always, thanks for watching, and like I said, a shout out to Tommy at West Bank Hobby. He kind of helped me out with this, and I'm gonna kind of start moving forward like that to see if I can kind of filter out as many birds. He's gonna actually see if he can sell them in the shop, and if that works, then we'll kind of go from there. Otherwise, I'll just probably post them in one of the online groups. If nobody local, a lot of guys at the field, they'll see something and be like, "Oh yeah, how much is that thing?" And I'll be like, "Hey man, it's for sale," you know. Because I just can't afford to keep them all. I wish I could. I love them all, but I just can't have them all. Thanks for watching. Fully out.